bit of festive, lovely music to get us in the scene. Welcome to another episode of On the Couch with Creatives. And in case you haven't guessed it, yes, this is our Christmas special, and we're feeling very, very festive, as you can probably see. As you know, Creatives is the professional network for people in the creative industries to help them develop, learn and grow their creative businesses. But I'm very excited because we've got a very special guest on the couch with us today who's going to help you feel super festive. Julie, who is it? Who have we got today?
We have Kate Smith on the couch. Hello, Kate.
Hi.
Kate is a self-confessed geek who says she spent far too much time and money sourcing movie and TV merch. So if you are a fan of any movie, any television series, Kate is the person to go to. And Kate has set up, her company is called Fanboxed, and she set it up to provide high quality and unique merchandise, boxed up and ready to gift for all the misfits and rebels around the world who use fandoms as a way of making connections and having a sense of belonging in a sometimes judgmental world. So Kate, let's start off about talking about all these geeks and rebels and misfits. Are you living in some kind of crazy universe?
Well, yeah, I guess so. No, I mean, I live in a family of geeks, and I spend a lot of time with geeks, especially now because I'm going to Comic Cons and things like that. But I think a lot of people have their geeky side, and I think for a lot of people my age, so I'm 47, we've hidden it. And we felt like we shouldn't show that, and that it's not normal. I hate that word, normal. And that now geekdom is becoming more acceptable. I think people are becoming more able to show who they are. And I think there is a lot of people fighting a lot of battles in today's world. And geekdom is where that, sorry, I keep jingling my bells. Geekdom is where they find their people, their comfort, their safe space.
Because we all need that, don't we, Kate? We all like to connect with people who understand us, and people, as human beings, we need to feel like we belong, don't we?
Yeah,
and when you've
absolutely.
got a tribe of fans who are into the same stuff as you, it's quite cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is I think a lot of people struggle socially to make that connection. And if you see somebody with a t-shirt, say a Star Wars t-shirt, let's just go with Star Wars for now, and you get, it's quite niche, but you'd only know it if you were a Star Wars fan, you've instantly got a connection by saying, oh my God, I love your t-shirt, or that scene, or oh, who's your favourite character? You've instantly got a connection to that person, and you don't have to worry about the social, oh, hello, the small talk. Hello, how are you? Who do you, you've got that instant connection. And that's really what Fanboxed is all about for me. And, I'll get on to why I sort of started it, or I can do that now. But
yeah, tell us. Because obviously getting a dog was not an option.
No, goodness, no. We've got a cat, can't get a dog. So basically my daughter, so she's 18 now, and has gone to uni, like by heart, but when she was growing up, she came out to me when she was 12, which put her, I was very sad, not because she was a lesbian, but because I felt like she was going to face battles in her life, and you don't want to see your kids facing battles. So she came out to me, and she had struggles. The girls at school didn't understand. She was part of the netball team, and they didn't want to get changed with her because they were 12. She was bullied at school because of it, and she also then had social anxiety around it. She didn't want to sort of talk to people. She felt really sort of closed. She's always been quirky. And TV and movies is where she found her comfort. That's where she was able to retreat to, away from, the world, which can be really horrible. So we've spent, years, as I say, she's 18 now. So we've spent years looking for unique merch based on her latest obsession. I mean, she has fandoms that she's always into, but then as soon as something new, I mean, at the moment she's watching Wednesday, the Wednesday Addams Family thing, that'll be the new thing. And trying to find unique merch that, you know, she will love. So I've spent hours and hours scrolling the internet, and you know what it's like when you go on the internet, you click one thing and you go down a rabbit hole and you're like, oh, that's good, and you end up spending so much money, and you end up spending all this postage, you know, cost, because you're like, oh, I'll get that and I'll get that, trying to curate her a box of merch. And that's why I started Fanboxed. That is where the idea came from. And I'm very passionate about people feeling like they're okay, that they're enough, and that they don't have to, you know, people who have autism, people who are neurodivergent, they struggle sometimes, but when you get them in a room with their own people who like the same things as them, they just come alive. And that's what I'm really passionate about, is, you know, diversity, inclusion, and that's what Fanboxed is all about.
So basically you couldn't find the merch, or you could find it, but it took you ages and ages and ages, and you had to get all the stuff from all over the place. You offer your clients boxes that everything is in one box. Tell us what your stuff is all about.
Yeah, so basically you can come to me and say, for example, I have somebody who came to me yesterday and they wanted a Matt Smith Doctor Who box. So instead of it just being Doctor Who, and you know, a lot of the sort of, what's the word, loot boxes that you can get, you just get a bunch of stuff. You might want a Matt Smith cup, for example, but you'll also then get a Star Wars thing and a Star Trek thing, and it's a bit like, I don't want those things. I want a Matt Smith cup and a Matt Smith t-shirt and a Matt Smith. So that's what I do, is you tell me what you want and I will create, in some cases, because we're now doing our own designs, or source those things put together. So when you get your fan box, you might not know exactly what the items are going to be, but you'll know it's Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Well, where do you source all your stuff from then?
So I source from big sort of suppliers, licensed suppliers, and I also source from independent suppliers. And as I say, nowadays we are creating our own merch, so our own designs. The Doctor Who is sort of where it all started. So we created, sorry, get my teeth back in. We created our own designs that can be their parody, which is how you get sort of round the copyright bit, because parody you can do as long as it's not an exact design, and you can't use certain words, like we can't use Gallifrey, we can't use Doctor Who, you can't use the logo, but our designs are done so that all of that is covered, and therefore we have our own designs. So our new designs are basically based on Polaroids. So if, say, Matt Smith is your doctor, then it's a Polaroid of Matt Smith, and then who's your doctor with the dates that he was Doctor Who. So yeah.
Fantastic. So that gives that helps to give a really personalised service, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse when you're, you know, a super fan. Yeah, well, when you're a super fan, you're always looking for the next thing, aren't you, or something to make you a little bit different. I mean, you're part of the clique, but you want to have the latest thing, you know, to show off to everybody a little bit, you know. So
yeah, exactly. And when somebody says, you know, we just did Comic-Con, and you know, those designs went down an absolute storm because it's new, it's different, and everyone was just like, oh, I want one of those, because you know, they were visiting Matt Smith because he was there signing, and they were like, I want to have that t-shirt signed by Matt Smith. So yeah, it is. And that's the thing, is if you're a fan, it doesn't matter how long you've been a fan, there's always stuff that you can buy, and you know, stuff that it reinforces your love and reinforces your sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, inclusion in that fandom.
Yeah. And Doctor Who's a good one because, as I say, with the Who's Your Favourite Doctor, there's been so many that everybody's got. I mean, they all love Doctor Who, but they'll all have their favourites.
Everyone's got their favourite, absolutely.
You know, I mean, I've got an old favourite of the kind of early years Doctor Who, and then I've got my favourite of now. My favourite of now is David Tennant, who I just anything with him in. I'm like, yes, I'm watching it.
Yes,
and
he's such a lovely man. He was there at the weekend as well, and you know, a lot of the sort of photo shoots and things run late, and people don't get to see him, and because they've like, okay, this is the cut-off time, and he said, I don't care what time we leave. Everybody who's paid for a photo with me is getting a photo with me.
Oh, bless him!
Wow, what a nice man.
I know, absolutely.
But it's worth, you know, the people like that. I was having a discussion the other day with somebody about ego in acting and stuff like that, and I said, you know, the ones who appreciate their fans and who give time to their fans are the ones that will really endure, because it's the fans that put you where you are. You know, the fans that watch your stuff. If you haven't got any fans, mate, you're not going to be doing anything. You're not going to be working. If the fans aren't buying your merch, again, you know, merchandising is all part of the actual brand, you know, so it's really, really important. If you don't give the time, my little boy who's in the same play as Julie, they're doing Christmas Carol at the moment, and I've had to say to him, I'm trying to teach him about, you know, be like Roger Moore, you know, be charming, give the time, because if you don't, you're not going to last very long, because nobody's going to want to know you if you're just, oh, I'm the big I am and nobody can talk to me kind of thing. Or, you know, you can't do that these days. People like connection, don't they?
Yeah. And I think that's the same for everybody in the world. Is, you know, my dad always sort of taught me to, you know, he was a salesman, and he's still alive, but he was a salesman back in the day, and he always taught us, you know, be charming and be nice and be you, be authentic. And I think that's the thing is, you know, authenticity is everything, and you can tell when someone isn't being authentic. And I think that's sort of what also drives me, is that because, you know, there's so many people who are just amazing and they're sort of hidden away because they don't feel the confidence to be themselves. And I think what the world is changing to a certain extent, that it's starting to get a little less judgmental, maybe, I hope. But yeah, like you say, you know, all these actors, you know, some of them are absolute twits and they are the ones that, you know, will probably be a bit of a flash in the pan, but the David Tennants and the people who make the effort in the world will be the ones that move forward and endure exactly that. Yeah.
So what exactly do you put in these fan boxes of yours, Kate?
Well, it can vary. So, for example, if somebody said, well, generally it will probably be a mug or a drinks thing of some kind. So if there's somebody says, well, look, I'm sporty, then it'd be a water bottle. Mugs go down, you know, everyone loves a mug. My mug cupboard is like, you know, keep like putting them on top of each other. So a mug, a t-shirt, but if somebody said I want a hoodie, then, you know, that can be done. Stickers, because again, everybody's loving a sticker at the moment. Something that I'm going to get into, which was this at Comic-Con this time, people were like, I've got a lanyard, I've got a lanyard. And I think so we're going to look into doing lanyards, because again, everybody wears them for work or for school. What else have we got in there? Stickers, a pin or a key ring. I try and do useful things. For example, I had somebody who wanted a Mandalorian for his son, and his son does football. So I put in a kit bag, you know, like a little kit bag, you know, one of those JD Sports pull drawstring things with the Mandalorian on, because that's something that he will use every time he goes to football, because he can put his football boots in it. So I try and sort of find out what the person is like a little bit and what they are into. I mean, there are the standard ones that will be a mug, a t-shirt, a pin, a key ring, stickers. But if somebody wants something, that's great, just ask.
I think that's lovely that you offer a real personalised service, because then people feel a little bit more cared for, don't they? Rather than just putting out standard stuff, you actually get to know your client and what they would really like and what they'd find useful. I think that sets you heads and shoulders above everyone else, because not a lot of people take the time to do that.
Yeah, and I love that. That's part of the thing. I mean, you can tell I like a bit of a chat, but I like meeting new people. I like finding out what makes them tick. And, you know, like you say, it's a personal thing because, you know, for my daughter, it was like, okay, was sporty, so she would, a water bottle, she'd always use it, and a sports bag, she'll always use it. But she also likes the stickers and the pins and stuff. Some people don't like pins, so like at the weekend we were doing at Comic Con, we were doing a bag where you could choose 5 items, and it's like, oh, you've got from this section, you know, mug, t-shirt, stationery. And some people were like, oh, well, I don't want stationery. It's like, fine, you can have a mug. If you want 2 mugs, have a mug. And it's all of that sort of finding out what people actually want rather than just throwing some merch at them.
Yeah. I would be stationery. I love stationery. I'm absolute terror for stationery. If it's like a note, I've got loads of notepads, like you wouldn't believe, that I've never even written in, because I used to work for Walt Disney Company, and of course,
Yeah.
there's some lovely branded. I've got shed load, but they're so beautiful. I don't want to write in them. It's terrible. And I'm thinking, but I bought that to write in, but I'm not going to write in it because it's too nice. So I've got like stacks of notepads and pens and pencils. I'm an absolute terror.
Oh, I used to be one of those people before you went back to school, when you know, that back to school going to WH Smith, and I'd be like, oh, love it. And I can go into Paper Chase now, and I'm like, okay, you can spend so much, like you say, you have notebooks coming out your ear rolls, but they're all so pretty.
And pencils with things on the end, and smelly rubbers.
Yeah, smelly rubbers. Oh, I love the smelly rubber. I used to collect them.
Yeah.
Smelly rubbers.
Oh, Condra, you must have had a smelly rubber when you were a child.
Yes, I had my fair share of smelly rubbers.
Bubblegum. Bubblegum. We're not going down that road. Right. Behave yourselves.
Yeah, no. Let's not do that. So tell me how you actually connect with your clients, Kate. Do they call you on the phone and you discuss things, or do you have they chat on the website, or how?
Yeah, I mean, they can call me. I have had customers call me. They can email me, and then I will get in touch. I mean, if you order on the website, there's a create your own box. I mean, people order just the sort of standard boxes, which they can see what is going to be in them. So like I say, it'll be a t-shirt, a mug, and they'll be able to see those items. But if they want to create your own box, then we'll have a conversation about, okay, what are your favorite character, you know, what's the fandom, what are your favorite characters, what do you do? That can be on email, it can be on, you know, any form of communication. A lot of it I do on social media, so they'll message me, or Messenger on Facebook, or LinkedIn message, or whatever, and then we just have a bit of a backwards and forwards, and find out what they want. So anyway, really.
And as we've got our Christmas special glorious stuff on, talk to us about your Christmas boxes, because you've got some really lovely merch that is branded like Christmas baubles and things as well. Yeah. Tell us about those boxes.
So yeah, I have released Elf, Home Alone, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Die Hard this year, and all of them will have an original design Christmas decoration, which we make here. I'm like, you know, I'm like a little elf. I make them here, and as time goes by, I think probably next Christmas I'm looking to hopefully have Christmas decorations for each box. So if you order, say, between, I don't know, October and beginning of December, you'll get a Christmas decoration as well, because I don't know about you, but I have to have a new Christmas decoration every year, obviously. So yeah, and then the all the boxes have got, so the Elf, the Home Alone, and the Die Hard. It is a Christmas movie.
I was going to say that. So it is Die Hard, a Christmas movie, Kate. That is
full of blood.
Movie, and I will not have you saying it isn't. This could be over very quickly. Yeah, so they've also got a messenger bag, because again, messenger bags is something that is unisex, because I obviously have to, you know, it's not just girls, so I don't want to do handbags, but a messenger bag, a lot of people, you know, on the train use them for their laptops and stuff like that. So I've designed messenger bags. So that's new this season, or this Christmas. And then a t-shirt, a mug, trying to think what else. Christmas decoration stickers.
What happens if somebody contacts you and says, I want merch surrounding a movie that you just don't have the merch for and there's none in existence? What do you do?
Well, if there's, I mean, generally there'll be something in existence. Etsy does have a lot of stuff, and that's the great thing, is that I've built up relationships with people on Etsy, so that obviously I get it cheaper and therefore can offer it to you cheaper. So generally you can find something, and if not, we'll just design our own. So I've got I can't remember how you exactly say it, but I think it's Danganronpa. I might be wrong, but it's an anime game. Now, I've never heard of it, but somebody has asked me for one of those boxes, and that's like, yeah, that's fine. So I then do all the research, find out what there is through my suppliers, and if there isn't anything through my suppliers, I contact other suppliers, and if not, as I say, we design something ourselves based on their favourite characters.
So you have to be incredibly creative doing this whole fan box thing.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, I think being creative is something I never thought I was. I think I've always had it in me, because I've always loved to sort of draw or dressmake, or my nan was a dressmaker and I used to love doing all of that. But I think because I used to be, so my job before children was I was an IT project manager, which is so uncreative. And then I retrained as a beauty therapist. So I suppose that was sort of getting into the creative, but it just wasn't enough for me. And that's where Fanbox sort of came from. But I think the whole creative thing is I'm suddenly realizing, yes, actually I am, and I am loving it. So yeah, and being part of being with you guys is, I've got a few creative sort of things, and when Melanie and I spoke, I was like, oh, so yeah, no, it sort of came out of the blue, but yeah, I guess I am.
I know this was the lady people that said, I don't really think of myself as being creative, and I was like, what? You're creative, you're making all this stuff and you're putting this stuff in these beautiful boxes, and but even going back, I mean, I'm having a lot of conversations with people about technical and creative, because being creative is to do with problem solving. So even that you were an IT manager and you project manager, you think, oh, that's not really my board. If you were solving problems, you were being creative on a day-to-day basis. It's just a different way. So creativity and science and creativity and innovation go like that. You can't have one without the other. So I'm on a bit of a mission to stop people thinking of creativity being separate to serious jobs, because without creativity, you're all fucked.
Yeah.
Did she just swear?
She just swore, and it was good.
You'll have to bleep that. Bleep.
David Leach can swear on our podcast. If he can swear, I can swear. But it's true. You have to recognise the difference. You cannot have a job or a business thrive if you think you're not creative, because every single one of your employees, from the CEO down to the floor cleaner, is going to be creative in some way or another, even if it's just, how do I get that stain off the floor?
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose when I was doing the sort of project management, I always sort of, you have that whole imposter syndrome, don't you? Of, I don't know how I got here, and I don't know how I'm doing so well, and because I used to work in the city. And I remember having a conversation with my boss, because I was a contractor and they wanted me to go permanent. And I was like, oh, what do I ask for? How much do I ask for? And I went with like something that I thought was ridiculous. And they were like, yeah, absolutely. And I've always said, my strength, and maybe this sort of has followed through into Fanbox, is translating. I was sort of a relationship manager, so translating something that this person who is technical understands into something that this person isn't technical at all can understand. And that's what I did, was I'd speak to all the techie people and then relay it down the line, sort of thing. And so I suppose in a way that was creative, because it was like, okay, well, how do I make that, which is like really scientific, into idiot's guide, which is me, just tell me the idiot's guide. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I guess, it's something I've learned about myself at nearly 50.
Yeah, it is. And I hope there's some people watching this who are going to go away now and think about how creative they are. Because if I had a count for every person who said to me, oh, I'm not creative, you are.
Yeah.
Seriously, you are.
It's such a lovely thing to think about yourself, I think.
People think about creativity as being, an artist or a photographer or a film, films or something like airy fairy. It's so not that. And this is what creatives is all about. I mean, I don't know if I can talk too much about it, so stop me if it's not something I'm supposed to talk about. But you've met a lovely lady in creatives who is a filmmaker and best-selling author, and you're doing a lovely little collaboration, but not in the way I thought you would. But to me, when you said, oh, you're doing this, I was like, oh my God, that's really cool, but it's not what I thought you'd be doing. So can you talk about that, or can we not?
Yeah, I mean, it's still really early stages. We had a conversation, we sort of brainstormed a couple of ideas, and that's where the sort of I don't know how much she wants to share, but the idea that I came up with, because we were talking about merchandising, which I think is where you obviously thought I was going to come in. And I sort of said, until people know the material, merchandising it's not worth it, because you can create all these lovely, all this lovely merch, but nobody's going to buy it because they don't
know what it is.
know yet. So I was like, okay, how can we get it out there? Because she sort of said, oh, how many followers have you got? And I was like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've got a few, but not enough to get this sort of thing, out in the world. So yeah, we're talking about, I sort of said, okay, off the top of my head, I think if it went into drama clubs and onto the stage, you're getting it out there. And then once you're out there, you're rolling into other things, and then you bring in the merchandising and stuff like that. So it's very early days. We had a meeting. We've got another meeting next week, just to sort of keep brainstorming it, and then hopefully I'm going to get it into some places, and she's going to get it into some places, and then we'll just keep going. So yeah, it's mad.
Yeah. Well, this is what our creatives connection is all about. You connect, start creating together, and then of course the brains start firing, and you come up with a wonderful idea, as Melanie said, that originally you never even thought you would get to, which is great.
Yeah,
absolutely. Brainstorming with other creatives, you never know where it's going to go, but brainstorming with other creatives from different creative fields gets you looking at what you're doing in a different way, and you suddenly 100%. Think, actually, yeah, I've been thinking that I want to do something else or branch out or whatever, but you haven't really thought how you're going to get from A to B. And then all it takes is maybe a conversation with a person who, again, could be totally random. But yeah, that's it. They've just put the missing piece of that puzzle together, and you've got the picture.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I mean, when we sort of spoke, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure if that's really what I do. But actually, I can see, I did say to her, I'm stubborn, I can get anything done. I will dig my heels in. But it's like, okay, I can then see a completely different way into a sort of completely different area, but that also stays true to what I'm trying to do. So yeah, no, it's been sort of revelationary.
Yeah. Well, that takes us to our top tips, Kate, because you obviously started your business just by buying stuff for your daughter, and then it just grew and it grew and it grew. It growed and growed like Topsy. So what are your top tips for people who want to start a creative business like yours from home?
Okay, so I have written my top tips down. So my first one, which is quite a recent one for me, but has been, again, revolutionary, is work on your business. As soon as you start your business, work on your business, not just in your business. Because I think creatives start a business because they want to bake pies because they're good at baking pies, or they want to make, macrame or whatever they want to do, and then because they're good at it and they love it, and then they start a business and it's a bit like, whoa, okay, I'm a technician, I'm not a manager, I'm not an entrepreneur. And so I recently have been speaking to my business manager, who's amazing. And there's a book called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. And if anybody's setting out on business, read this book, because it basically makes you look at your business as a franchised prototype. You want your, even if you're never going to franchise it, you want your business to run smoothly, because I think a lot of us start businesses because we want to be able to make money and we want to be able to make a change. But also, when you're on your own, you're then on your own and you are learning social media, marketing, sales, accounting, and it's like, whoa, hang on, I just wanted to make boxes. So it makes you make your business run smoothly so you can hand over sections of it. So that would be my massively big top tip, is when you're starting a business, read that book and start your business as a franchise prototype. So you can, you know, McDonald's is the most successful small business in the world because he started it as a franchise prototype. He got all the operating manuals, all the ethos, the vision, so he could just pass it over and go, okay, now this is how we do it. So that would be my first tip, is, you know, I'm at 18 months in and I've only just started doing that. And so it's fine if you're already in business, you can still do it. And it's a lot of hard work, but it makes such a difference, such a difference. So that's my first top tip, is work on your business, not just in it. My second one is be consistent with your marketing. So again, social media, I, you know, use social media in terms of, you know, I'd have a bit of a scroll through Facebook and I'd, you know, post if I was somewhere lovely. But I have used social media to make connections, and LinkedIn has been, considering LinkedIn wasn't where I thought I would be, LinkedIn's been amazing. That's where I've got a lot of my business from. And, you know, I've met all these lovely people who have taken me in unexpected directions. I never thought that this,
Like us.
this. Yeah, I never thought I'd be doing this. Oh, my pom-pom. But also, you know, it is a part of the job, if that makes sense. So don't just post randomly. Make sure you're talking to your ideal client, make sure you know who your ideal client is, but also don't just post your stuff and run away. Talk to people, meet people. And I love chatting anyway, but make connections with people so they become your friends. Even if they never buy from you, you never know where that's going to take you. And and so for me, consistency on social media, choose one or two platforms. I've tried to do them all. It's impossible. So at the moment I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook, kind of on Instagram, but my main ones are LinkedIn and Facebook. I think I need to diversify into the other ones and maybe leave some behind, which makes me really sad. But just be consistent, even if it's consistency once a week, not, you know, 3 times a day. I try and post twice a day, but some days, some weeks that doesn't work. But as long as you're consistent and people can see you and you're looking at what they do, don't be selfish about it. Look at what they do and be interested in what they do, because you never know where it's going to take you. So that would be my second one, is consistency. And my third one, I think, as a business owner, you learn a lot of lessons. You go down a lot of cul-de-sacs where you're like, well, that didn't work. Or, oh, I thought I was going to end up doing that. And, oh, crap, dead end. Know what you want to sell. Know what you want to sell. Know why you're selling it, and know who you're selling it to. And I have been all over the place. So when I first started, I was like, the idea I had was the idea I am now working on. I have deviated from that. I've gone around the houses and I've come back to it because that's what I want to do. And none of it, the other stuff made me happy, but I thought I should be doing it. Know what you want to sell, know why you're selling it, and just be authentic about it. Be true. Don't try and pretend you're anybody else, because people will find you out. And, you know, you just have to be yourself. And if people, you know, like my dad's favorite piece of advice that I use all the time: those who matter won't mind, and those who mind don't matter. So just be you.
Yeah. I completely agree. And that's brilliant advice. We've just got a few moments left of our show now. So we're going to end on one of my favourite.
Yeah, I was going to say there's this the bit that's like, I'm going to have to wing it.
Well, that's what it's all about. You wing it.
Well, to be fair, I've been winging it the whole way through. So
things come out of you that you don't even know are there.
Yeah,
no, these are brilliant. And again, if anybody's looking for a little Christmas gift that encourages people to get talking, then Values Jam.
Which your magic cards.
My magic card. Values Jam. I do have well, you see the links going across the screen, but these are beautiful cards. They're soft and they're silky and they're like just really lovely.
And they fit beautifully in a stocking, a Christmas stocking.
Yeah, good stocking fillers. Right, okay, I'm going to give them a quick shuffle. So what we'll do, Kate, is we're going to get you to pick a card, and we'll get you to talk about what that value means to you. So I'll just try and see if I can hold these up properly to the camera. Hold on, get them the right way round would be a good start. Okay, so you just yell stop when you're ready and I'll pick a card.
Stop.
Right, let's have a look. Actually, this is quite a good one. This is quite a good one. This is all the things that we've been talking about. Your card is recognition. Recognition. Okay. And because we're creatives, as anyone will know who has seen this part of the show before, we will ask you creatively about recognition. So, Kate, what does recognition mean to you? What does it look, feel, and sound like?
Okay, recognition to me would be walking into a room full of people and seeing somebody with a fan-boxed t-shirt, pin, something we've done, or somebody going, oh, you're from Fanboxed, you're Kate from Fanboxed. It would feel like all the hard work, and it is hard work, brilliant, and I love it, but all the hard work had been worth it. Or somebody saying, and to be fair, I did have somebody say to me at the weekend, thank you for being an ally to the LGBTQ plus community, because I told them the story about my daughter. And somebody said, thank you. You don't know, she doesn't know how lucky she is, and you don't know how much that means to somebody like me. That's recognition for the values that you are, that are part of my DNA, being recognised. You know, I make mistakes all the time, but being recognised for making the effort. You know, we all make mistakes, but for making the effort and for wanting to make people feel a certain way. And I suppose with Fanbox, that would be recognition to me. Somebody knowing that I've got their back, that I can help, and that's how, and it would feel amazing. It did feel amazing. I had a little cry, to be fair.
So you must find members of your tribe all over the place now, Kate.
Yeah, and I've made new friends in, so many different places, so many creatives who are traders or whatever, but also the people who come, who just let loose, they're just free. And that is just the most wonderful thing to see. So that would be recognition to me.
What does it sound like?
Sounds like laughter, happiness, freedom.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Laughter. We're all for laughter here, aren't we, Julie?
Yeah, I can laugh now and again.
We had a good laugh with on the couch with Sarah Kay, didn't we? The laughter specialist. She had us all in stitches. Don't know if you saw that episode, Kate. It was hilarious.
There's always something to laugh about in any situation. Let's be frank.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can be Shirley too.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's all we've got time for on our Creatives on the Couch Christmas special. Do go and check Kate out at Fanbox. She has got some wonderful merch that's obviously, her merch isn't just for Christmas. She can hit you up at whatever time of the year you like. Great for birthdays and celebrations too. But bye from us here at Creatives. Have a wonderful blessed and peaceful Christmas wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you in the new year. Bye for now.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.